The Time Traveler's Wife, written by Audrey Neffinger in 2003. A little bit about the author. Audrey Neffinger was born June 13th, 1963. She was born in South Haven, Michigan. She is now married to a cartoonist named Eddie Campbell. Some of the awards that she's won in the past are the Arthur C. Clarke Award in 2005. The Arthur C. Clarke Award is an award given to a science fiction author, and this award is chosen basically from a panel of judges. And these judges pick a book, and then this award is awarded to whichever book they winded up picking. And they kind of do this in like this a science fiction film festival, is what was said about it. Another award that she won was the John W. Campbell Memorial Award in 2005. This award um, was kind of, it's voted for the best science fiction novel. It's an annual award presented by the Center of Study of Science Fiction at the University of Kansas. And then it's presented to the author for the best science fiction novel published in English. Um, and she won that one once again in 2005. And then she won her third one, Exclusive Books Bokeh Prize. And that one is really just more an award for like a first time novel or first time works. And this, I think, was her first novel that she had ever written, like a huge novel that she had ever written. And they would award this in South Africa until 2012, and they quit doing it there for some reason. Um, some of her other popular works are Her Fearful Symmetry, she wrote in 2009, Raven Girl in 2013, The Adventuress in 2006, Three Incestuous Sisters in 2005, and then The Night Bookmobile in 2008. What is A Time Traveler's Wife about? Well, this book is about Henry and his wife Claire, and really, Henry was diagnosed with a disease, a genetic disorder known as chrono impairment, and it basically causes him to unwillingly travel through time. Um, he begins traveling at the age of 5. He's either jumping forwards or backwards. When he leaves, he no longer knows where he's going. All of his trips' destinations are all tied to his subconscious. He most often would travel places that are related to his own history. Um, anything could trigger a anything could trigger a time travel. Stress was really his biggest trigger, though. And in the book, it would talk about how he would go running or jogging or walking or anything to just keep him calm from time traveling. Down the line, he searches out pharmaceuticals to try to find ways to help control this. He seeks advice from many, many doctors. One in particular was Dr. Kendrick, and there was really nothing they could do because he would always travel naked, and he would then wake up naked and not know where he was, and then he would struggle to find clothing, shelter, food, and he would have no clue what's going on, what age, where he was, or anything in between. Um, he first met his wife at 28 years old in a library. And once she found out about all of this, she knew that he would time travel, and she would try to find him each time. She would go find him and make sure that he was okay and basically relive with him until he time traveled again. Excuse me. And she would go find him again. Um, they would go they would do separation with long periods of time because at some point she would not know where he was. Um, During the book, Claire wanted to get pregnant, and she was really worried about doing so because she did not want to pass this genetic disease down to their daughter or son. They winded up having a baby, and her name is Alba. She is diagnosed with the same disease, but she does not time travel. She does not have to go through all the same things that her dad did. She's just diagnosed with a disease, and she has more control over things. Um, and really, the end of this book is quite sad. ends up waiting for him. Um, she ends up getting very old, and because she does not time travel, and she's 82 years old, and she ends up waiting for him, and he's only 43, like she's always done a good majority of her life. Um, and it's just quite sad because she loves him and she tried the best she could, but time still caught up with her, and she still died at the very end, waiting for her husband, who ended up being only 43. Um, some of the main characters of the story are Henry and his wife Claire, of course, their daughter later down the road, but it really kind of just revolves around them. I mean, other characters go and come, but or come and go, but they are not really in the story. It's really just all about his wife and him and the encounters that he has. And same with the setting. Like, the setting changes. It never really stays in one spot. Like, they met at the library, and then things would happen. And two other places that he has been to would be the South Haven, the meadow in South Haven, and then a field behind his wife's home. And those are just some of the places that was in the book that was talked about. How does this relate to science fiction? This relates to science fiction because it's time travel's talked about. This is really not something that could happen, and it's a real love story and science fiction. It's really both. And science fiction is defined as a fiction based on imagined future scientific or technological advances and major social or environmental changes, frequently portraying space or time travel and on other life and other planets. And then, that being said, the story has some very futuristic characteristics as well, known as time travel, because that is not something that we can do in this day and age. That's not something that we can do at this moment in time. And that being said, that's kind of how all this makes a story a science fiction story, because it's something that is going on that we cannot do at this day and age.